Hello everyone, my name is Valhalla Pickle, and today we are going to be continuing our called Powerplant. Now, I've started this quite a few months ago. In fact, it's been exactly 11 months since I started this project, and unfortunately, time has gotten the better of me, and I've fallen out of love, I suppose, with working on this, except today, I have decided, you know what, I'm just going to try and get it done. Am I going to complete all of it? Well, considering we've still got miles of the conveyor belt highway to do, probably no. But there's a good amount that I can try and get done today and tomorrow, which will be my final stream for a good few months. So don't worry if you don't see me upload for a while. I'm going to be having shorts videos come out every single day for the next 2.5 months that are related to Satisfactory, so I hope that you guys will go on to enjoy them. Regardless, let me tell you what I've been working on off camera, and that's essentially our lighting around here. What I want to try and do is mimic this design here, and all the way across the northern facing side of the wall here. And what I'm hoping I can then do is try and hopefully, I keep saying hopefully because I don't know what I'm going to get done today quite frankly, but add in our foundation, our coated concrete foundation all the way across there, have a little logistics floor, and then again add in our floor there, get rid of all the trees and the gas, and that's going to be this part of the project done. I can then start to work on the layers above here, then everything should be nice and dandy, which I cannot wait for since again this project's taken a bit too long. I've also been working on the side here as well. At first glance this looks like nothing special, except that has to go, and that, there we go. But then when you compare it to this side, there is quite a noticeable difference. So it's just a simple case of tidying things up, making it look adequate and presentable and neat and tidy and just not crap, basically. So that's what I have been working on there a little bit. So what I want to try and do now, as I say so for the 14th time today, is just finish off this part right here, nothing else. We've already done all of the details down there, it's nothing too complex, fortunately. Add in a little bit of glass there, and essentially we are done. That is it. Then just mimic this. I could make this into a blueprint. In fact, I think I have, yeah. So these are already in a blueprint, which is quite handy. This I'm just going to add by hand because, quite frankly, I don't like having blueprints for everything. I like just going at it and hoping things go well. Which, as you can tell, they don't always, but it's all part of the satisfactory fun. Making mistakes and trying to learn how not to make them again. And then making the exact same mistake again, then questioning your life choices. All of that and more to come on today's live stream. But yes, thank you very much for tuning in. And as you might have noticed, by the way, I have got a slight pattern going on. It doesn't look like it, but there is. And it starts up here. So we have these two, we've got 2 meters there of lights, 2 meters of concrete, 2 meter lights, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, actually sorry, 3, 1, 1, 1, and then the pattern just repeats itself basically. So it's not a very repetitive pattern, but at the same time it's good, because what I've noticed is that if I have, let's say, 1 meter lights, 1 meter concrete wall, 1 meter lights, 1 meter concrete wall, the pattern looks a bit weird, but something like this, where it's both symmetrical and at the same time rather odd looking, it actually ends up looking quite nice, except I'm going to leave the light at the top the way it currently is because I just think it looks quite appealing. So yes, we're going to go with that. Anyway, so what's next in the design then? It's second one of those lights, then it's a 1 gap, like so. And I believe it's something like this. Then I'm just going to leave the bottom, what was that, 6? Yeah, the bottom 6 meters can just be left the way it is. There's no reason to overcomplicate it, because I never do that, do I? Yep, that's right. Just making sure there. How's that? 6? Okay. So that's the majority of that now done. I do want to try and add in our glass wall. I'm just going to go with the full frame window because it looks the best. And we get rid of them too. Okay. Now it's just... Oh wait, did I get the top one? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. Now it's just a simple case of trying to repeat this over, well, everywhere else, really, which I'm hoping won't be too difficult. I have made a few changes. Firstly, I've removed, see how I've got this beam and then double beam connector pattern going on over here? Well, I've removed that for this section because I feel like it was a bit too much, and I didn't want there to be a lot going on. I wanted it to be rather simplistic, and I feel like this definitely does help. Although now that I'm speaking out loud, I might even try and add this into here. Let's see. I don't mind that. I don't mind it, because the reason why I wanted to try and add that there is just to see if I can get a light underneath here. Or, well, a sign, really, not really a light, but it acts almost the same. We'll chuck that into there. I don't think I'm going to go with orange. Maybe a slight off-white. I think that looks really nice. And I suppose what I'll do is place down this row here and see if it's going to work. Because I have been on a rather small crusade to almost get rid of all these signs. Because I have got too many signs across my world. Having said that, though, I feel like that actually does add quite a nice bit of, well, light, obviously. I might stick with that. I don't know. Because from this angle, it looks great. But if I was walking here, I like it. Yeah. I'm really conflicted straight away. I don't hate it though, so I suppose we can go ahead and add it. Why not? Brilliant. Now let's just try and do that over on this side, and I've already forgotten what I've done. Also, great to see, by the way, all the canisters are moving. I will double check our power in just a moment, because the... oh dear. Because the last time that I've done one of these streams and checked the power, things weren't going brilliantly, but luckily I can safely report that things are going slightly better now with our power system. I found what the problem was. Firstly, not all of my fuel generators were actually hooked up to our main grid, so that's why it was a few thousand megawatts lower than what it should have been. And secondly, we weren't making enough rocket fuel because we didn't have enough crude oil, and that's because we weren't getting enough of these canisters on our system, despite having thousands here, because of how far it has to travel, like literally miles and miles. We just didn't have enough canisters to cover it, so I've added many thousands more. Now things seem to be better. In fact, at one point I added too many canisters, and then what I noticed started to happen was our canisters were backing up, and they weren't able to actually leave the packages, and because of that, I couldn't get any fresh crude oil in. So then, yeah, the system was all messed up. But luckily, everything is fairly sorted now. What I'm trying to say is that it's not as terrible, which is nice. Okay, then you go all the way up as far as I can go with it. Because the problem is if I go too far up, it's just going to appear here through the asphalt. But that seems good. Then what I've got to try and do is add you somewhere here. Right there. I'm going to get rid of this concrete, I think. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it there, but it would look a bit weird from this angle, I think. Although maybe not, because it acts as a bit of a safety barrier. I know I'm just giving myself more work to do here, which, I mean, is the story of my life. But if I was to get rid of this, just for a moment, then get rid of this. Again, the issue with this whole power plant, and the reason why I stated towards the start of today's stream that I didn't actually like it, is because my building technique has just changed so much. I would never do this ever again. But I'm happy that I've done it now, so I can experience what it's like to have done it. And at the same time, it's not necessarily wrong. It's just different. It's unique. Just uniquely bad. No, it's not that bad. There we go. Rid of that there too. I can keep them there for now, I suppose. So if I was to have this here, let's turn on the lights. Wrong button. Why do I keep pressing F for the light? Maybe that's my key binding and star rupture, but that's the third or fourth time now in the last couple of streams I've pressed F. Weird. Anyway. I'm now left with this. Okay. I think what I'd like to try and see here. Something a little bit like this. Good. Followed by, oh, not that. That's fine, we can find a solution for that. It's always good when you do place something down to check it from multiple different angles, because from the angle you're looking at, it might look completely fine. Then you move a little bit, then suddenly, oh dear, it's dreadful. So it's always good to make sure that you do check a couple of those angles. You know what? I don't dislike that. I don't hate it. I think what I do want to try and do, though, is finish this, because at least now you've got somewhere to go. Rather than just going up and just randomly stopping. You can now come up to here. Same now with... oh, hello. Same now with this. Yeah, maybe I can get rid of that or leave it the way it is. Let's see. That's definitely going to go, though. Yeah, then you're going to go up to here. I believe there's a one gap here, isn't there? Yes. Because for some of them I left the one gap, then for others I left the two gap. It's just trying to figure out what I did where. Which is always very fun to do and not frustrating. What if I do this? You know what? What colour are you guys? Are you just a regular default colour? I think so. No, I didn't want to actually place that down there. No, you're grey. Okay. Because the reason why I was asking there is because it looked a little bit like vents. From a certain distance, it does remind me a little bit of vents. That could be quite an interesting building design, actually. If only you could curve them, but that's just never going to happen, so I'm not even going to imagine that. Good. One thing I can do here, which I'm not actually sure about, is to add these. I like that. Okay, good. Yes. I'm most pleased with that. Oh, see that? Yeah, that's the problem I was sort of hinting towards there. In that case, what I'll do is go 1, 2, paint you in that beautiful carbon steel. Just like so. Then, for the top, what am I going to add? Because I've got the same problem over here now as well. E-wall carbon. Yes, you look slightly different though. You look lighter than that. Only barely, but yeah. Oh well. Then add one of you there as well. Good. Unfortunately, we haven't actually got half walls yet, which is one thing I would love to see, is a half wall. What I mean by that is that this 1 meter wall, for example, is 1 meter tall and 8 meters wide. I wish it was 1 meter tall but 4 meters wide, so this wouldn't be a problem. Maybe there's a mod for that. I don't use mods at all, even though I probably should for a couple things, but I don't. Either way, I'm rather happy with this section here, and I don't want to massively overdo it, because if I do, then I'm going to be here for a very long time. So I'm just going to leave it there for this section, and if there's anything I want to add a bit later on, I can. But for now, I don't. Right, regarding you, there's one thing in particular I want to try and use here, which I think is this. It's not looking like it. Is it you? Uh-huh, lovely, okay. Wait, no it's not. Is it? No, it's definitely not that. So what is the right item then? Surely it has to be the one that we just had previously. Oh, it might be this. That, maybe? Yes, that does appear to be correct. If I can actually plop it down in the right location, that would be ideal. There. No, it's still not right. How am I messing this up so much? In theory, as long as I just do this, then... Oh, hello. And from this angle, everything's perfect. That's exactly the way I want it to look. But then you come back here, then it's... Ooh. It's not great. How about if I stand here and I remove that? Because this is the center location here. This is where I want... No, it's definitely not that, because that's for the other side. So it has to be this. Okay. You just not want to line up. Oh, holy lag there. I do apologise for that. I don't know what caused it. So, you're fine. There. Perfect. I think that is now correct. I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Again, a slight tweak here to the overall... Ew, I don't want that. Sorry. Wait. What did I do with this? You came out by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's far better for me. Because this way you can clearly see the cut of where this bit juts out, which is completely fine. But it doesn't actually overlap the conveyor belts. So it's a bit of a win-win theory, so I'm quite happy with that. And what we'll go ahead and do is just add 1, 2 there. Focusing a little bit now on the interior of the conveyor belt highway. It's not really what I was planning to do today, but at the same time, I've gone out of my way on multiple occasions to make sure this doesn't look crap. So I'm not going to ruin it now by being careless. Yes. That would be a waste for everyone. Now, do you line up? No, you're off by about half a foundation. Half a nudge. Why? I don't... Quite frankly, don't understand. I'm afraid. Why are you off? Because if I was to place it down there now, I assume you're then going to be off, are you not? I mean, to be fair, if you are, I can just very simply remove this and then just move it forwards by half a nudge. It's not the end of the world, and I was going to tweak this anyway, so you know what? That's probably going to be how we do things now. You're then going to come up to around about here. Grab one more of these, rotate you around. Wow, I mean, you're all sorts of wrong. Right. That sounds like a problem for another minute. And I think the walls here are grey, actually. They're not carbon, are they? No, they're black. You're not carbon, right? There's no chance you're carbon. No. No. Okay, so you're not grey. And you're not black either. So what are you? What colour is that? If it was carbon, just for the sake of things. It's a bit too dark. Oh well. Welcome, Arnold. It has been a while. Welcome back. Yeah, the clipping. Yeah. I'm still messing around with everything. I'm just throwing a bunch of things at a wall and trying to see what sticks is essentially the way that I'm playing this right now. Okay, that colour's fine. What colour even is that? I don't know, but let's just use grey because it's the exact same, and at least I know what swatch it is. You started a brand new 1.2 save today. Nice. It's always my favourite part of Satisfactory, is starting a brand new save. I don't know why, I just find it so fun. Hopefully it all goes well. I'm sure it will. It'd be good fun. A part of me most certainly does want to start a new save, but I haven't got time at all. This summer is really the only bit of time I would have had, but because I'm working all summer, I now have no time for anything. And the time I have got, I just spend painting Warhammer, or, I don't know, touching grass. I know, two hobbies are in conflicting of each other there, but oh well. Or doing mathematical calculations for a factory game. I wonder what game. No, to be fair, it's a good mix. I think it's really important to have a hobby that doesn't involve screens, as in video games or watching movies. I think it's nice to do an actual physical hobby and what I like to call a creative hobby. So my physical hobbies are tennis, things like that. Whereas creative, I would say, is a bit more of Warhammer. Having a good mix is really vital. And I find, at least for me at least, doing the same thing, same hobby, and the same type of hobby especially, just gets a bit boring after a while. So I like to try and balance it out a little bit. There we go. Now, why do you look like that? Because you shouldn't. You're a 2-meter ramp. If I was to go with a 1 meter, see, this is the problem, right, with rushing things. Because what I've done here is I've wanted to get this conveyor belt highway in as quickly as possible so that I can get my crude oil from up there down to my rocket fuel factory. And I understand completely why I've done that, because I didn't want to be messing around and faffing about with all of this. And of course to get the sulfur as well. But because I've done that, I've left behind so many problems, which is a bit of a shame. And to be honest with you, the conveyor belt highway with no like holes through it actually looks really good. I can see why it might have looked a bit bland, but I think for this build it works quite nicely. Yeah. I'm really not liking this though. I'm really not. I'm trying to think what other workaround is there, and I don't know if there is one, other than leaving it blank and having a gap there, but I don't really want to do that either. How about, as a last resort I can do that. It's kind of special, you use the node randomizer so you're completely lost. That's a good idea as well. I think I might do that for my next playthrough, I'll be honest. You start in the northern forest, and instead of 4 iron nodes in copper, you have sulfur, oil, coal, copper, and 1 iron ore. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. I'm not sure if I recorded it for a video, wow, English, or if I was going to record it for a video. But when I did it, I had a uranium node next to, I think it was iron, copper, limestone, and coal, which is just mental. At the same time that it was kind of good fun. Because rather than spawning, let's say, in the grass fields and knowing where everything is instantly and having everything already planned out, it challenged me a little bit, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the game. Actually feeling challenged by node placements. Like, as of right now, I can probably name where the majority of nodes are in this game just by overlooking this map. But if the nodes were all randomized, I wouldn't say to myself, okay, well, this is where I'm going to be building my crude oil facility because I've got all my crude oil nodes out here. Great. This is where I'm going to build my iron factory because I've got all the iron out there. If it's all mixed around, it makes things a bit different. I suppose it makes you rely on vehicles or transportation of resources as well. Because rather than, as you say, having clusters next to each other, iron clusters especially, or crude oil nodes together, now it's just random nodes next to each other. Which I think would be quite interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that, I think. I don't mind it. Although, you seem like a different colour. Because you are, okay. That explains it. How about now? That's better. Yeah, we'll go with that. Again, it's not perfect, but it's pretty much what we are looking for, I suppose. We'll take it. Oof. What am I going to do down here, though? really don't know. In fact, how did I even design that? I spent a bit of time talking about this conveyor belt highway, and I suppose it's nice that we do try and get it looking rather decent. No, I've got to push you a little bit further back, I'd say. So let's do the same thing that I did over on the other side. Yeah, we've got a lot to try and get done today, but I think it is going to be one of those projects where as long as you get the first parts nailed and squared away, the rest is rather simple. Just copy what you did before. It's just that initial brainwave that I need to have. It feels like I've been missing out on recently. Like creativity. I think that's why yesterday I took a bit of a break and played some Planet Zoo. That's what I was supposed to play today, Planet Zoo. But no, I did Satisfactory instead. I thought you guys might like it a bit better, to be honest, as well. Because people request me to play games, but then they don't often tune in when I do the thing that they requested. Which I find a bit weird, but oh well, it's the internet. Play this. Okay, here it is. No. Yeah, you're still a little bit too far forwards, I'll say. That's an awful lot better. Although, I think I'm probably just going to end it there. No, that looks really bad now. Okay, how about if I do this? It's a bit better. Okie dokie. Right. We then go ahead and add these everywhere. Good. Last but by no means certainly least, that made no sense. Last but not least, this. That's the wrong colour. It's an orange, isn't it? There we go. Yes. Good. I can now try and work on this area a bit more. What did I do? So all of this, I suppose, is covered by... yeah, that. Okay. This is going to be quite interesting. Especially considering that you actually cut in through there as well, which doesn't help at all. I mean, this is where a blueprint would be helpful, but no. We're not doing that. And I don't like the way this light's sticking out. See, this is what I mean. Because of the way that I've built this factory, the way that none of this was supposed to be here. This conveyor belt highway was never supposed to be here. This conveyor belt highway was never supposed to be here. This factory was never supposed to be here. And everything underneath there was never supposed to be here. I've sort of just glued all these pieces together. And I've hoped that something would work. And I suppose when you look at it from this angle, it doesn't look too bad. All the different floors and the different layers. You've got one floor up there, another couple floors there, a huge factory in there, the big factory in there. You've got all of these conveyor belt highways. So in that regard, it's not awful. It's just... it's so different than what I had planned. And mentally, it's just... something about my brain cannot handle when things aren't organized and symmetrical. And I think that's what's throwing me off a little bit. Is that I've planned for one thing and now I've produced another. Let's just focus at one thing at a time. But even all of this is now wrong, so that has to go. Then what do I do with this? Do I bring that up? What about this concrete floor? Do I add a massive wall here? If so, does it go all the way down to there? And then it's going to be blocking half of this. It's questions after questions after questions. That's why now for the new factory I was planning, none of this is going to be a problem, because essentially the way it's going to look is... how do I even explain this? Imagine... right. Let me try and draw it out for you guys. It's such a simple plan as well. Oh, I've lost power. Really? Okay. Firstly, absolutely get that over there. I'll do that there. There, and no, that there. done. That is essentially the new factory. Well, not that, but the design of it. So imagine a cathedral, right? You got the 2 towers here, and you have that long bit in the middle there where you got all the seats. That's essentially what this part is going to look like. Replace that 4 times. You're going to have little barriers, not barriers. What are they called? Views, I think. Anyway, little pillars here that then connect into the actual main church area itself. Like this. And this particular part of the factory is going to be quite wide, actually. It's going to be a huge factory in the Dune Desert. Just a mega factory. Just absolutely mega. And it's slightly inspired by Hive Worlds, again, from Warhammer. Because I'm just, yeah, into it. And then this is going to be very tall with drone ports and all sorts at the top. And that's the factory. It's a square with 4 rectangles in it, with a couple towers and circles here and there, but that's basically it. Whereas this is just a rectangle on top of a rectangle on top of something else on top of something else. And the reason why I'm sort of yapping here is because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to continue this. But one thing I could try and do is maybe actually work from the bottom to the top. Because I only have to go up by, let's say, 15 of these basic 4-meter walls, and then I can start doing that pattern. So that way it would be a bit easier for me to understand what exactly I'm doing. Let's try that then, shall we? Is the pattern going to work? Yes, the pattern stayed the way it should have. Brilliant. Well done. Okay. You're already in the right place. That's astonishing. Well done. We're then going to go with... Oof. How wide is that? Hardly anything. About 2 nudges, I would say. 1, 2. Yes, you're 2 nudges. Then that. Okay. Oh, in fact, right here. Okay. Makes my life a bit simpler. That's handy. And in here, we're going to have All of the Lights. A song by Kanye West. Featuring Rihanna. Now, if I remember correctly, you actually jut out a little bit, don't you? Yes, you do. So, I'm actually building this a bit too far back by accident. You need to be out here. Just a half nudge forwards. See, it's little things like that, that if you get it wrong, it's just... long day. It's a long day. I think what I want to try and do when I come back from holidays, or from working really, is just to try and build a bunch of blueprints, basically. A conveyor belt highway blueprint, a drone blueprint, things like that. So if I do start, or when I start the new factory, I'm not as overwhelmed. Give me 1 second. There we go. As I am when I'm doing these projects, because then at least I'm going to have a bit of a helping hand. And I can very easily transfer one blueprint from one save over to another, and that's that problem solved. Is that a 4-meter gap in between? No, it's not. Okay, why is there not a 4-meter gap in between? Because there should be. It's about a 4 foundation gap there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. So you're 1 foundation too big. Okay. Really? Shouldn't be. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what it is? This area here is actually too big. So you've been placed too far wide. Right, okay. Is that going to be a problem? I wouldn't say so. So you've all got to move over by exactly 1 foundation. It means that I'm going to have to do most of this again. Which is slightly annoying. Only very slightly. Mild setback, if you will. Then select you. Blueprint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get rid of that. And there we go. If it wasn't for blueprints, that would have taken about 10 minutes. So I've saved 10 minutes of your day. And of course, 10 minutes of mine. Which is good as well. Brilliant. Now we're going to go with this. Now, how have I overlapped you here? In the center of those two foundations. Let's try that. See how it goes. That looks pretty solid. You are slightly... I think that is correct, isn't it? It doesn't look correct, but I think it is. You should be in the exact middle, shouldn't you? Yes, you are dead center, so why aren't you dead center? What's occurred for that to have happened? Oh, wait a minute. No, you are correct. But because you're built half a nudge in front of the center, it looks like it's off center, but it's not. Okay. That's completely fine. Good. And then you're going to go all the way up to the very top and connect with this. Go. I would prefer if you were both half nudged out of there. Good progress. Good progress. Now, am I going to do all the lights as I build these, or save the lights to the very end? I think I'll do the lights as I build it. Otherwise, I'll just spend 30 minutes just doing lights and the patterns around it, which will not just infuriate me, but I'm sure you guys as well. So I won't do that. As much as I'm very tempted. 1, 2. I believe it's a 2 gap. It looks like a 2 gap. Yeah, that's a 2 gap if I've ever seen one. Now, I'm wondering here, why have you reached the ceiling there? You should all be the same height, but clearly you're not. Unless you are, but... No, you're absolutely not. Let's see, shall we? Are you on the same height? You are too high. Now, why are you too high? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Alright, because you actually start a bit further into the ground. That's actually not a massive biggie. You know what we could do there then? I think you're 1 meter off, aren't you? So what I'm going to do is come back up to here. Rather than just getting rid of everything, which is a bit of a waste of time, all I'm going to do is just come up here. Wink. And now I know for the next one is just lower it down by 1 meter, and that's all of our problems solved. Well, I say all of our problems. I think that's at least 3 of our problems solved, which is good enough, honestly. You are now aligned properly. Good. So I assume everything is now going to be grand. Although we are about to find out, though, because I'm going to run this experiment again. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the experiments come back successful. That's exactly correct. Great. Now you shouldn't be too high, because I have to lower you down. And in the case of lowering you down, I then have to lower everything else down. I think. 1, 2. You still clip through the wall. How? I'm very confused as to why you clipped through the wall there. Because you don't. You're pretty much 1 nudge lower than everything else. Let's try and get you out here again. Yep. It's definitely 1 foundation lower. I'll get you out. That's correct. So are you only a 1 nudge then, or what? Because you go up to the very edge. That's important to note. Okay, you're also not lined. Okay, right. I think what I've done there is I haven't lined this up properly. There's a gap. Okay, that's the problem then. Good to know. Bring you down. Is that better? I still think one more. Lower it down by one. I don't mind making mistakes here. That's a 2 nudge. That looks far more accurate to what we should have had earlier. Bring you up there, I think is the design. Yes. So bring you up. And then what we're going to do is just mimic exactly what I've done over here on this side. Line you up there like so. Okay, that's actually quite interesting. So these have to be aligned with each other, which is exactly what I've done over there now. So that's quite nice. Okay. The next part of the plan is going to be the lights, I suppose. How did I do this on the other side? Exactly. I forgot I added glass there. No one saw that. That's good. We did this as our design. Okay. Interesting. I mean, if it works, right? I think it literally is just this, isn't it? Lines in there. Yeah. I did this here. And then that no. But no. That there. Then this here. There isn't an overlap over there, but there is here. No, it's a very slight gap. It's about a 2-meter gap there. This isn't lined up. Again, what a surprise. Firstly, are the tops of these lined up? Yes, I might even continue that coming around the outer perimeter, actually. Add a bit of extra pattern, a bit of extra shape, a bit of extra depth. One of my favourite things in this game, apparently. Oh, you know what I could do? I think what I did was I added a wall, didn't I? Yes. Okay, that's why it looks slightly off. But it shouldn't be. It should actually be right. I promise. Should be okay. Now, if I was to keep it like that, I'm also going to have this wall just naturally remain here, by the way. I'm not going to have a concrete wall here because I really like the way the rocks can be incorporated into the factory. Why not, right? Why not? Things here are starting to look a little bit better now, which is great. Are you not lining up? And come down by one more. Perfect. Perfect, lovely, jovely. And that's just going to be the interior essentially sorted. As you can tell, very, very basic interior. I have got a gap here. But for example, what I could try and do here, because our logistic floor is going to be here, I think. Yeah, so, yeah. This is all going to be one large logistics floor. So I can just bring things from our conveyor belt highway, bring it in through there, bring it down here. Then that could end up looking really cool, actually. So we are going to leave that as a gap. You can remain the way you are. I could try and do some interesting design here. A very simple design, don't you worry. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, and then 4 up. No. Bring it back by 2. And down. That's up. That's not down. Here. My main reason for doing this now is because I want to try and add a little bit of a lighter concrete into here. The problem with what I built so far is that it's all quite dark. It's either a dark grey or it's carbon, which is, I believe, the darkest material in the game. Is it I think it is the darkest, isn't it? It must be. If it's not the darkest, it's at least one of the darkest. But now just by adding this, you add a little bit of light, a little bit of no colour. Because this isn't a colour, it's concrete, but because it's a bit different compared to the carbon, it still looks interesting and relatively okay. So I'm happy with that. What's next? What is next? Don't crash, maybe. Don't. How am I out of power? There we go. You know what I'm actually going to do to stop that from continuously happening? Because it will. Just place a couple of these down here. Like so. This is all going to be our logistics floor, so it's all going to be completely under concrete, under about 12 layers of concrete. I mean, look at that. Look at all the different layers that are going on in this factory. It's borderline overwhelming, which I think is the main reason as to why I always stop doing this. And the worst part is, even if after I do finish this and it ends up looking quite nice, I'm still not going to be happy with it because of the way the rest of the building looks, and I can't change that, which is reason 4000 as to why I want to start over, but we're not today. Oh. I didn't think about that. Right. That's actually okay. Oh, wait, before I fly into that. That's actually okay. I wasn't a huge fan of that anyway, so, yeah. Okay. I completely did not think of that. And that, in fact, reminds me of the exact thing I was saying earlier on today. It's always good to get different angles of what you're trying to build, because you might do something like that. Or maybe you're smart enough not to. Congrats if you are. I don't fall underneath that category. I wish I did. But no, it's always good to get multiple different angles of what you're doing. Also, it stops you from getting tunnel visioned as well, which is not great to have. Whenever I hear someone say tunnel vision, I always think about Chuckle Vision and the Chuckle Brothers. Yeah. I'm that old. I honestly, I feel so much older than what I am. Anyway, before I started today's stream, I don't know why, but I decided to use a bunch of mouthwash. I don't know why, you guys can't tell. But whenever I do one of these streams, I talk a lot, and I don't really talk off camera that much. So my mouth gets really dry really quickly, so I've got to try and drink water. The problem is, because I've just used mouthwash, firstly, it's not good to rinse straight after using it, and then secondly, the taste of the water after the mouthwash is just not very nice. Let's put it like that, shall we? It's disgusting. Oh, speaking about Scottish accents, Scotland managed to get their first World Cup win since 1990, I believe it was. I mean, I saw the news today, and because I've gone to school in the UK for most of my life, and even my friends abroad, some of them are Scottish, I saw a lot of them posting on Instagram about Scotland's win, so I thought, oh, fantastic, well done to Scotland, of course. Because the match was on at like 2 AM, or... yeah, I think it started at 2 our times. I wasn't up to watch it. If it was England, I might have been, but I'm not Scottish, so I don't obviously support the Scottish team. But it would be great if they do well anyway. Regardless, I saw everyone celebrating it, so I thought, oh, it must have been a thrashing. It was a 1-0 win, and the goal that we got was an own goal scored by the Haiti players. And I was watching back the football before I went live today, and they didn't play great. I mean, better than what I would have done. Let's just get that out of the way with and say that. But they didn't play brilliantly. at all. And I feel like if they do that for the next 2 games, they're just not going to qualify. So hopefully they do play a little bit better. Fingers crossed, because the Haiti team, they played well. And bear in mind, Haiti and Scotland have got completely different facilities. Haiti's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, whereas Scotland's not bad. So that was a bit concerning. But a win's a win, right? 3 points are 3 points. That's good. Let me just drink some water as I complained about the taste of mouthwash. Yeah, it's like opening up your mouth in a swimming pool and then just swallowing all of the water, all the chlorine. Great. Ugh. That reminds you of a clip actually from Asmongold. The problem was, because Asmongold's teeth were so bad, and like his just general hygiene. Well, your face cam. I've turned off face cam for today. Didn't really fancy like having it on. But because of how bad his hygiene was, every time he drank water, he thought it tasted awful, and went back to tasting just drinking Coca-Cola and Pepsi. And it turns out the reason why he hated the taste of water was because it was just the taste of what was in his mouth. And because his hygiene was so bad, it just tasted awful. Which is pretty shocking. I think I've only ever had Pepsi once. I think I've only ever had Coca-Cola once or twice. Never had Dr. Pepper. I've had 7-Up once. I just don't like the taste of any of it. It all just tastes awful to me. My favourite drink in the world is water. Which I think summarises my personality, to be honest with you. If it's the weekend, I'll be a bit naughty and have some orange juice. But that's about it. I can't stand carbonated drinks at all. And there's someone at the college I go to that it feels the exact same as well. And the problem is, because we're both part of the tennis society, our like social sec person, clearly an alcoholic, they base everything around like alcohol for the socials. So me and him, well, I can't go anywhere because I work Wednesday evenings, but even if I didn't work, I still wouldn't go to them because they're literally just drinking, like a lot. And then the conversations on the Thursday, because they do it on the Wednesday, then we have tennis on Thursday. It's just the most boring conversations that university students love to tell. It's like, oh my god, I drank so much yesterday. Oh my god, you did. I drank more though. Oh, you did, yeah. You were so bad. Shut up. Shut up. Oh dear, alcoholics everywhere, man. Anyway. That's my little temper tantrum over. My go-to water, by the way, if not tap water, is most likely Evian. It's quite nice. I don't mind Highland water, which links us back to the Scotland conversation. Highland's good. Ballygowan is great, Irish water. Fiji? Where's Fiji water actually from? I doubt it's from Fiji. That's alright. I've only ever had that once or twice. I don't really go for Boss water or anything in a glass bottle. I'm not spending 10 quid on a bottle of water. I'm sorry. No. Anyway. Can I taste the difference? No. Not really. It all comes out the same tap. Add this here as well. In the time that we've yapped there, we've done quite a lot of this work, which is quite nice. Although, again, like, the way nothing here is centralized honestly pisses me off. It's so annoying. But what do I do here? Like, on a serious note, what do I do? Just leave it, honestly. But even around here, the main entrance of this factory isn't centralized with the conveyor belt highway. And of course it's not, because this was never supposed to be here. This entrance was never supposed to be here. This factory was never supposed to be this big. Like, none of it was supposed to be like this. It's just a simple case of trying to, as I say, keep things together. Make it look decent. Oh, why have you decided to rotate yourselves, you silly so-and-sos? Come here. There we go, lovely. I don't know why, but when I'm trying to select an object from quite a far distance, I tend to close one eye. Often my left eye. Which is really weird. Doesn't help. When I'm looking at something from even in real life, when I'm trying to look at something from a far distance, I close my left eye. Like I'm trying to enhance or something. Doesn't help. Oh, you did work. Okay, good. Oh, is it? Oh, it might be a bug actually, where this is zooping, but it doesn't have the visual effect of it zooping. Wow. Uninstall 0 out of 10 IGN review. No. I was actually watching an IGN review on a game that I found quite interesting, and it was quite a painful watch. I'll be honest, like, I'm very excited for the game, but the way that they were presenting it was as if you've just got a script and you don't really know what you're talking about, but you still have to try and sell it. That's the way it was coming off to me, at least. I'm just seeing something here, by the way, like, because we've obviously got this rather large drop here, so what am I going to do for it? That honestly just looks fine. And the good thing is that if this is nice and bland, it sort of adds to the attraction of everything above here. Let's try and get this bit further back and actually activate our decoupled camera. That's the selfie camera. There we go. Oh yeah, I've got to try and finish that. Again, there's so many things that are just unfinished. All done and annoying me. Yeah, see, I would not mind that at all, just to be a chrome black wall there. Looks really nice. Honestly, screw the patterns. I think it just looks nice by itself. I'm going to get rid of the patterns on there. Also, it does save me some time as well. So, a win-win for me. Okay, right. Is everything over here done now? Except for the lights on top? Yes. Good. Then we'll remove those weird 1 meter walls and move on to the main side of the wall now, which is brilliant. The good news is I'm going to try and get it somewhat symmetrical too, so that's going to be great. I haven't got OCD, but when things aren't symmetrical and they could be symmetrical, it really annoys me. Like, there's some artistic designs that are not symmetrical and they look astonishingly beautiful. But things like this, for example, if this wall was slightly off when it doesn't need to be, that would just completely ruin my day, in fact. So, yeah. Good, right. I've never been tested for anything, I don't think. Like OCD, ADHD, none of that. But that's okay. Yeah, not bad. I'll accept that. My eyes can visually accept for what I have created. It has been crafted with my hands and my hands only. And today what I want to try and do as well, I think I might do this towards the very end of the stream as a bit of a congratulations to myself for finishing this project. Just get a bunch of nobelisks and blow up everything underneath her. We are going to leave it in ruin. What has it done to deserve it? Nothing, it just doesn't look nice. I would make such a good mayor, wouldn't I? Mayor, what are you going to do as your first act of being mayor? Well, you see that suburb over there? I just don't really like it that much, so we're just going to blow it up. No webcam? Yeah, a T-Rex came into my office, and it's destroyed and ate my webcam. I filmed it actually on my webcam, but because it ate it, then, you know, I've got no evidence, which is really sad, you know, so it is what it is. Gotta try and continue and soldier on without it. You can go now. Oh, Maybe I got rid of that a bit too soon. I feel like the fog here actually really helps the look of this build because it's nothing impressive. I'll be completely honest, it's nothing impressive. But it's alright. The Raptors chewed your mic? Yeah, I know. It's awful, these dinosaurs. If I was to get rid of you, you're then going to get rid of all the power that I've placed underneath on that floor. That's okay. I sort of have to keep you here, though. Otherwise, I will literally have no power here. So, quite important. Lovely. Speaking of power, how is our system doing? Those weren't happy noises. Those were concerned noises. But yeah, welcome, Journey. Hope that you're doing good. I'm actually, like, bothering to try and finish this project. It's mental, I know. Who would have thought? It's been long enough, honestly. I do think my next project is going to be good, though. The Cathedral Hive-styled build could end up looking really good. And I suppose it's actually going to take a bit of inspiration from this, because... Oh, nice. Imagine if this was the side of the cathedral going all the way down there by about 100 foundations. I think it would end up looking really cool with those arch-styled windows. You're asleep but you can't sleep? Oh, that's just me every single night. And what's really annoying is I will be unbelievably tired. I can't even keep my eyes open for that long. That's how tired I will be. And yet, I still cannot sleep. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I hate it. Also, yeah, we've got the train and other things going into here. Is it symmetrical? Have a guess? Of course it's not. So I'm going to have to do something here. It's not supposed to be symmetrical. What? Let's just finish this project, honestly. And take me home, country roads. That's all that done. Now, the second question is, how far back are we going to end up going with this? Just don't know, Jeff. I don't know. And bear in mind, all of these coal nodes here on conveyor belts, these are built on Mark IV conveyor belts. So I can actually get a bunch more coal from this. So what I'm going to end up doing, because I'm not going to end up placing down more of our coal generators, there's just no point. Because I've got a conveyor belt highway here, or what I could even do is add it up there instead, is all the excess coal, I can just add it back to our conveyor belt highway, then just bring that to wherever I need it to go. And yeah, everything will be pretty good. Why do I sound so dead? I don't know. Oh well. Oh dear. No, I think that's an interesting idea. Hi Bean, can you move? Or don't, you know, just be a nuisance. Don't give me any excuses to rage quit, Bean. I've never rage quit this game before. I don't see why I would, but if I would, it would be your fault. There we go. Don't know why I built it like that, but oh well. It's always good to have our unique moments, even if they are very questionable. Also, power is now a bit of a concern too. What I'm going to end up doing is grabbing our power pole from down... Wait, in fact, screw that, I'm sorry. You should have power. No? That's why... Oh, yeah, nice. I was just saying I wouldn't rage. It's testing me. Oh well. This time in 2 days, I'll be on the plane to America, which is interesting. Never been there before. And of course, I've chosen to go during one of, in fact, not one of the biggest tournaments in the world. And I really don't like flying. So, like, the thing is, I don't fear turbulence. I get really motion sick very easily. So, and also I don't like being around large groups of people or people at all. Not because it makes me annoyed, I get nauseous when I'm around large groups of people. Don't know why, but it is what it is. So an airport is sort of the worst place for me to be, and I'm flying solo, of course, for the first time. So that's going to be fun. It is what it is. I'll get over it because I just have to go up. But yeah. Where am I going? I'm going to Maine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 0. Gap. Okay, so this is where the final section's going to be. So I'll end the pathway here for now because we might have to end up just zooping it in like that. The problem is, though, I'm flying into New York. And, of course, like, my family's been to New York before and to America before. I think 1812 was the last time. No, I'm joking. But no, that should be interesting. I've never been. I thought it was about time. Why have I done that? So there's obviously a reason as to why I've done that, but I think it's stupid, so I'm not going to continue it. There we go. Oh, that's why. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Let's start from the bottom. Let's do the exact same thing that I did over on the other side. Just start from the bottom, then work our way up. That seems to be easy. Easier, at least. Okay, so you're going to face the wrong way. What if I do 1, 2? There you go, see? 2000 IQ. Now it's going to be facing the right way. That's what I call geniusism. It's not a real word, no. Fantastic. There's people... what? You were right. Huh? You were right. Why did you rotate yourself around? Okay, let's try that again then. We'll do 1, 2. There we go. Right. I absolutely understand why it's doing this, and I'm not confused by anything. I probably don't want a pathway coming out here, considering that's where the train or the thing is going to go, the conveyor belt highway. Have a good day, really? Oh, right, yeah. I thought you just meant, like, people in general. Right. Here's the plan of action, then. Boom, 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 pow, bang. What do you guys think in chat? Is that a good idea? Nice. I'm glad to hear it. Let's do it. Oh. Autosave. Good. Now, you need to come forwards by just a little bit. Because, again, you're half nudged. Is that right? That's right, isn't it? Yeah. Because then when you get to the top... No, that can't be right. That's a 5 gap there. Are you all 5 gaps? You are. So it just so happened that the only thing with a 4 foundation width was where I tested out my design. So everything is based off the 4 gap width. Not the 5 gaps. That wasn't actually wrong. This was wrong. Okay. Okay. Did someone say redesign? No? Okay, so what I can do here instead then is this. I'm still going to bring you up to however high it is. There. Seems about right, I would say. No. It should be the very top. Oh, yes, because, yeah, I know why. That's fine. Boom. I was supposed to build it 1 meter into the foundation, because that's just really intelligent. I know. The thing is, that's what I've planned, so I just have to do what I've planned. Good, so you're now directly over the top, which I think is the way it's supposed to be. That's the right height. Same thing there now. Salem. Yeah, I'll see if I can check it out. I only know Salem because of the Salem Witch Trials. It's a book that I had to... Or was it a play? I don't know. It was a thing. About a bunch of alleged witches who may have not been witches. Okay. So this is now what we are left with. Rather than having a 1 gap, it's a 2 gap for the glass. That's not catastrophic. Worse things have happened in our world than this. I think. I can't name one off the top of my head, but I'm sure worse things have happened than my walls being 1 foundation apart. Maybe. Actually, I don't really know. Anyway. Now, how am I going to do this? I know how. Let's just use our brain cells. 1, 2... No, sorry. Wait. There you go. Boom. How? Bang. Yeah, look at that. Cobblestone pathways. Oh, nice. I've been seeing lots of videos on my For You page of Americans telling Europeans not to walk to football stadiums for the World Cup, which I find quite funny. And then people are obviously walking to them still, and then having to cross like 6-lane highways to try and get there, which is always good fun. Europeans love walking, what can I say? We haven't discovered public transportation just yet. Okay. And that's coming from someone who also absolutely loves to walk, by the way. I can't imagine just not being in nature. I can't imagine it. And I choose not to imagine it. No, sorry, I choose... Yes. I choose to imagine nature everywhere I go. Even when it's just concrete, brutalisque buildings everywhere. That's what we did here in Britain. We knocked down all the really cute Victorian and, well, even pre-Victorian buildings and then replaced them all with just big concrete slabs like this. Oh, what have I done? Have I just equipped my Iron Man suit or something? What's going on here? Oh, I'm inside my conveyor belt highway. Okay. That's fine. Now what do we do? Connect you up here. I don't know what language that is, but yes. Here we go. This is going to be the design. This is how legends are made. I think. I don't know, it's a song. So we do that. We do that. Then what? Oh yes, we had signs in here, didn't we? Absolutely. Yeah, good. So tomorrow's stream, I don't know what we're going to do, if I'm honest with you. Because a part of me really does want to try and start designing that cathedral building that I was just talking about previously. Very quickly, nudge you back. And that's where all the glass is going to be. We've still got gaps here though, so I suppose I have to try and lower you down. Yes, I know how to do that. I would hope so, because I designed it. There we go. Only yeah, the thing is, here in the UK, 1.5 hours drive, for example, that's really quite far. You wouldn't want to go that far unless you had to go somewhere that was rather important. Like, for example, if I was going to go visit a castle, then I would travel 1.5 hours to go get there. But if I'm going anywhere that isn't interesting, I would never drive more than 30 minutes or 40 minutes. That's way too far. Okay, there we go. This is fine. I still can't believe the one area that I designed this entire build around just happens to be the one area that's a 4 foundation width, and everywhere else is a 5 foundation width. Which means everything else is not going to look the way I thought it was going to look. It isn't massively off-putting, it's just a bit unfortunate. Oh yeah, I was watching the Qatar game yesterday, Qatar versus Switzerland. That was... I mean, it was nice that Qatar got a point. I like Qatar. I'll be honest, I do. I like Switzerland as well. I quite like watching games where I haven't really got a horse in the race. It's just whoever wins, wins, you know. Don't care massively. There's no one in this World Cup that I want to see lose necessarily. But I don't really care who wins either. If England win, it would be fantastic, but yeah, I just don't really care. Not a massive football fan. Yeah, it has to be a bit higher, doesn't it? I knew it. There we go. Um, 4 hours from top to bottom. I've actually got no idea. It's definitely longer than 4, because to drive from the far southwest to the far southeast is probably about 9 hours, I'd say. So going from, I don't know, southwest Cornwall up to the north part of Scotland must be 20 hours? Maybe more, 24 hours? It's not huge. It's, you know, it's not the biggest country in the world. Also depends if you take a train as well. If you take a train, it'll take you about 12 years. Because you get onto your first train, the train will have some sort of problem. You then have to try and board another train, and then that train gets delayed. Then they have to try and board another train. And when you board the third train, it turns out that some of the staff have gone on strikes, and you have to deboard that train and wait for the next train, which then got delayed. And then before you know it, you've aged 10 years. You've got a family now. And it's just, yeah. You think the British would know how to do trains, since that was kind of our big thing for God knows how many hundreds of years. Like, we didn't... Well, we did a lot. And one thing that we did do was trains. Just lots of trains. But no, even that apparently isn't great anymore. What is? What is? I mean, British food's the best food in the world. That's just, like, hands down reality. There's not a single cuisine on earth that's better than British food. Zero. Second to none. And I'm being deadly serious. British food is the best food in the world. Think about it. We have British Chinese food. We've got British Indian food. We've got British Italian food. We have British American food. I mean, what more do you want? There isn't anything more. The peak of the culinary world is in Birmingham. I mean, it's fantastic. If you ever visit the UK, visit Birmingham. Or Stoke-on-Trent. It's just remarkable. 8th wonders of the world, I'd say. Great culinary scene. I was actually supposed to go to Birmingham for university. I didn't, but yeah. There we go. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Thumbs up pretty much every live stream I've ever done. What if I do this? No, well, that could actually look quite nice from the interior. That's fine, Journey. Don't worry about it. Oh, gosh, you know what? I am most pleased with that. Yes. Look at all the concrete, by the way. I'm actually quite a big fan of this. I really like the way all this concrete looks. Even though the design's rather basic, I think it's the mix of just the solids concrete over here, then the mix there of the carbon and the darker concrete, then lastly with just the carbon. The contrast there is rather superb. There we go. How does it look from back here? Coming together. You know what it is? I've always said Satisfactory is a puzzle where you just gotta try and get all the pieces and merge them together. What I'm doing here is I'm ripping up some of the puzzle pieces, then trying to super glue them back together whilst pretending everything's kind of fine. And it's working. So, yeah. Right, let's try and finish the other side, shall we? I'm just wondering here, by the way, should I maybe add something? Yes, I like that. Because it looks a bit weird just having the glass end there, for example. Whereas the transition now is actually not awful. Okay. Yeah, I can try and fill in this gap here as well. Oh, typical. I pressed the middle mouse button there, the scroll wheel. I'll try and copy that across, but the second I pressed it, the game auto-saved, so it didn't count. Okay. You. Come on. Come on. I'll do that then. I, in theory, shouldn't have to go too high here, but I want to make it look as proper as possible. Which is a bit of a challenge when you've got a rock sticking out. There we go. Can I make it up there? I've got no power. The hover pack is struggling, but there we go. As we get towards the top, everything is fine and dandy. Nice. I realised I could have probably used an 8-meter wall here, but I didn't want it to be too steep. I like the 4-meter ramp and the inverted ramp. I think that's exactly what I need. This is a bit tricky, isn't it? Don't want to give up, though. Is that right? No. Yeah. Perfect. Come on. You desperately want to get placed there. I can tell you that you do. Great. Again, there is a rock there, but if you ignore the rock, then everything's grand. Brilliant. And now what I could probably end up doing here is, yeah, having a bit of a dance there. The 1 meter foundation? No. Is to do this. Brilliant. And again, all of this is going to end up being our logistics floor here. Which is rather exciting, I would say. I find lots of things very exciting, as you can tell. Oh, I forgot about this. This reminds me a little bit of a cauldron in Horizon Zero Dawn. With all the blue and the pipes. I should probably try and experiment with that a little bit more. Yeah. This will end up looking quite nice. I think we are going to go with a slight redesign here, though, aren't we? Because all of these are just for show. They're all empty. The main pipes aren't visible here. Hello, why are you orange? What are you? Just white? Oh, you are white. Oh, okay. That's odd. Brilliant. I'm still happy with this addition, by the way, with the concrete going around here. I feel like it just makes sense. Welcome, Call Me Cross. I'm doing alright. I'm not too bad at all. How are you? Okay, yeah, let's continue this. Lights. Although, why is there still a bit of visible wall going on here? I don't like that. You're not the wrong height. You're definitely the right height. How odd. Either way, I think that's what we're going to end up going with. What did I do with these gaps? Did I just leave them the way they were? I believe so. I'm concerned that here we've got tons of these empty canisters and down here we don't. That's a bit weird. You're losing motivation to play this game solo. Yeah, that's the reason why I took a bit of a break yesterday and played Planet Zoo. I was going to play Planet Zoo today, but I decided in the end not to. Yeah. Let's copy over this sign, rather than having to go through all the different settings again and tweak everything. Boom. I'm definitely going to take inspiration, though, from this wall here. Absolutely. Like, imagine if this was a tower, okay? Where this was the middle part, this was the wall, and again, just repeat this wall on that side. That would be quite a nice looking tower. Absolutely going to be stealing some inspiration. When I say stealing, I literally built it. I'm stealing from myself. Do that there, then do that there. The reason why you see me use these small billboards rather than the large billboard is because the large billboard shows all the borders. For example, here you can't see that there's about 7 different billboards here, whereas with the large one you would, and it would look dreadful. That's fine, yep. Professional Counter-Strike player. Ooh, nice. So usually, do you play other games? We want to play this game a lot more. I have so many ideas. Yes, I was saying actually a bit earlier that it's nice to play creative games or just to do a creative hobby. Because it keeps your mind just fresh and alive. I like it personally. And I think it's good to get inspiration from others as well. For example, I might build something which someone didn't think about, and now they quite like it, or vice versa. But at the same time though, comparison is a thief of joy. So, if you see me build something and think, oh, well, I want to try and build that, and then it doesn't look the way you want it to, don't get disencouraged, because then it won't be as enjoyable for you. I'm actually going to make a video talking about this, by the way. I've got a video coming out next month where I'm essentially, well, I hope I'm going to try and record it later. But essentially, I'm going to be talking about how, because I'm trying to perfect my satisfactory playthroughs, it's almost sucking away the joy a little bit from the actual game itself. And I am going to have a video covering that, because I think it's really important. I've already made the thumbnail for it, just I haven't recorded it yet, because I couldn't be bothered. But no, I have to try and do it soon. The thing is, if I don't want to make a video, I never force myself to, because this is a hobby. This whole channel is a hobby for me. It's not my job. It's not my job to make best recipe videos, yet I do it because I enjoy it. I really enjoy it, in fact. In fact, I almost enjoy it more than playing the actual game itself, which is concerning considering how much I love playing the game. That just goes to show how much I love making the best recipe videos, and how much I'm hoping for new recipes in future updates, which is never going to happen. Well, no, never say never, it's just not anytime soon, should I say. Speaking about things that haven't happened yet, is me developing brain cells to realise that all I have to do is zoop this across. There we go. Oh, you're retired now? Oh, fair enough. And the team. Oh, nice. Yeah, I've tried CSGO a couple times. It's alright. I don't mind it. You know what I've never tried? Valorant. I've never got into Valorant or games like it. Don't know why, I have no interest for it. At all. Right, now I think you're actually supposed to be... Yeah, I've got to do all this still, don't I? Okay, that's fine. Then 1 meter down. Yeah, okay, good. So you're going to remain. I'll grab you now. And do this. One, two, three, four. I think all of this is going to go as well, or is that the one that stays? No, okay, so you're the one that stays, except all of this is going to go. Right. Don't you just love spending ages designing something just to wrap it up straight away? I love it. Yeah. Too many abilities. Yeah, I don't like games that have abilities. There was one game that came out that was really popular that I didn't like because of that. Oh, what was it now? Oh, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I didn't actually mind the whole first-person shooter aspect of it. But what I didn't understand was that you would play for hours and hours and hours as a character you don't like, just to unlock a special character, and then die within a minute. And that was like the fun part. Like, what do you mean you're playing as a character you don't want to play as just to die? What? Never got into it. I didn't like the special abilities. I didn't like how you had an advantage over me because, your team's better. That's what I didn't like. Your team's better, so your team's getting more kills, and because your team's better, you now have more powerful characters. Because you unlocked this and that and the other. Yeah, great. Sure, I guess. Never got into it, never played it again. I got it for free, but yeah. I've bought too many games from PlayStation and Epic Games for free. I won't say no though. Oh, speaking of, I got Prison Architect a while ago. When I say a while ago, I mean years ago now. Still never recorded a stream from it. I was going to stream it, but I never got around to doing it. Which is a shame, because that could be a fun game to stream, I feel like. Building a prison. I've never been to a prison. Have I? No, I don't think I've ever been to a prison in real life. I don't know why I had to think about that for a second. No. But I was thinking, have I ever toured a prison before? No, I don't think I have. Or have I? Ooh. No. Get rid of that. Then we do that maybe? Come up by 2. Brilliant. Then grab that. I'm starting to like this design now. It only took literally 11 months. I was checking earlier and it was the 14th of July that I started working on this called Powerplant. 14th of July. It's now the 14th of June. Right, I'm going back for a second sip of water. Disgusting. You love Dota 2. Dota. What's that? I've heard of it, I don't know what it is. There we go. Get rid of all this. I'm redesigning this area here because I like ripping things apart, clearly. And you can stay. So can all of... What are you doing? There we go. So can all of you. Let's make it a bit simpler. Defense of the Ancients. Okay. And Satisfactory the second. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, this game is fun. There's nothing about this game I would change, I don't think. I was actually going to make a video about that a while ago now, to be honest. I know, I was going to title it something along the lines of, I wish Satisfactory changed this, or changes I would make in Satisfactory. And the problem was, I couldn't think of enough things, so I completely scrapped the video. Which is mental, because I've played so many games in my life, and a lot of them, even the ones I liked, I would still change a few things with them. But with this game, I couldn't think of enough items that I'd want to change. I mean, sure, there's features I would like them to add into the game, absolutely. Why are you not built correctly? But overall, huge changes? Not really. I still think a system for the lizard doggos would be a good idea. League of Legends, yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling it was that sort of game, because again, I've heard of it, but never played it. One of my housemates at uni plays League of Legends. She doesn't game much, but when she does, you can hear her, because it just screams. I used to do that though, like, up until I was about 21, maybe? 22? I used to do quite a lot of first-person shooter games. Now I've almost entirely stopped it, and I play games like Planet Coaster, City Skyline, Satisfactory. Just first-person, either open-world games like Horizon and Assassin's Creed, or games like this, creative games, building and simulation. Wrong button. Because the truth was, I was just raging constantly when it came to first-person shooters. I wasn't dreadful at the game. Like a couple of games, especially Battlefield 5, I was actually okay at. But I was never goated or anything. But I knew what I was doing. Right. And I got to the stage where I was just burnt out from playing it, so I stepped back. And I think that was a good idea. Yeah, I'm loving this, by the way. Da 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 da. I'm loving this. Right. So, the next corner. And this pit of addiction, yeah. Well, so is this. I mean, what have I actually built here? Just, what is this? I like it, but I hate it at the same time. I feel like one thing that I want to try and build in this game is just one big mega factory, where I've got bits like this, but rather than it just ending here, it continues and just takes up all this room, and I think that would look great. That's again why I want to try and build some sort of hive city from the Warhammer lore. If you don't know what a hive city is, it's basically an absolutely awful place that people have to live in. And it's a huge city, like gigantic city. But at the same time, I think it would look really cool. So, yeah. And of course, there's no one actually going to be living in it because this is Satisfactory, not Warhammer. Even though I've mentioned the W word every stream since I've come back, which was only 2 days ago. I still can't believe I'm going in a couple of days. I feel like I've only just come back. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when. But I know we'll meet again. Some sunny day. Okay. If I chuck you into there, you're going to solve all of my problems? Yes. Fantastic. Keep smiling. No, it's this one. Your creative side sharper. Yeah, I think so. I wish I had the buildings that I built a year or two ago so I can compare what I've done. In fact, can I? Let me just save this for a second and see, can I go back to one of my very first ever saves? 003. The thing is, I'm concerned what this might... Oh, so only 14 hours. 18 hours. 7 hours. 39 hours. Fields updates. 2022. My earliest save is 2021. I deleted all my old saves, which is kind of annoying. Should we have a gander? Should we have a look? I'm concerned what I've built. I know that I've built some sketchy things in this game pre-YouTube. So I'm worried I'm just gonna open this up and it's just a massive anyway. Can't be that bad. Okay. I remember exactly where this is. This is the Rocky Desert. No, it's not. It's the grass fields. Crap. What the heck is this? A truck? Oh, this are all the biomass burners before they had all the updates to them, of course. Hypertubes. Yeah, oh, this is my biomass production. Okay, so here's a fact about me that you're not going to like, but I'm going to say it anyway because who cares? I really didn't like coal generators at first. So everything that you see here is powered via biomass. And that's... Oh my goodness. Okay, good organization. Oh, the screws. 40,000 screws. Oh, I haven't got the, what are they called? The things on my feet. Blade runners. All of my factories were built just like this. Yep, so I had a logistics floor. All of my smelters here. But the problem with doing a design like this is that firstly, it takes ages to do. And secondly, let's say after I finish that milestone right there, all of this becomes quite useless. Let's get the camera up and running, shall we? I mean, that's not for 39 hours. Oh, I remember the save. No, I do remember it. This is my truck station. My truck station? This is where my trucks and tractors, I think just tractors, used to go. To get the call. Yeah. I do remember the save. It's 4 years ago. I'm surprised I do remember it. This is when I was trying to... Actually, okay, here's a fantastic example of how my building techniques changed. Look at my previous decoration, right? All it was just one flat wall, and I was changing the colors occasionally. That was all of my designs. Now compare it to what I was just doing previously. Look at the difference. All the different layers and the depth. Holy... Oh! Ew. It's all organized as well. Iron, copper, limestone, the ghost of ancient past. Oh, that's coal. That's going to go get the coal from down there. Look at the state of it. But look, it's all Mark 1 conveyor belts. Or is it Mark 2? I think some might be Mark 2. But still, when I unlock Mark 3 or Mark 4 conveyor belts, all of this would have to get changed. That's the reason why I don't like building really big structures at the start of the game. Clipping Hetty. Yeah, we got a Clipping Hetty. Oh, look at all this decoration, by the way. Damn. Oh. And I still clip the edge. Disgusting. I feel like I should do an apology video after showing you guys this. What's the point of... Oh, okay, that's to go from point A to point B. Now, this, what you see here is quite literally how I built every single one of my factories. Logistic floor underneath, a gap over here, then my conveyor lifts, then just smelters, constructors, always having these bad boys here in the middle. Why? Because as you can see, I never optimized them properly because my mathematics was always off. Copper especially. These guys weren't too bad, but not great. What is down there? Why am I making so many screws? I've got 12,000 screws over there, or whatever it was. I don't need all these items. And this is another problem. This is one of the reasons why I started doing all my maths before I actually get into my playthroughs. It's because here I'm making how many concrete? Like 100 maybe? No, not 100 per minute. Yeah, easily 100 per minute. That's quite a bit of limestone coming in there. All of it being mathematically off because nothing here is over and underclocked, hence why it's all yellow lights everywhere. Oh, dearie me. Like, what's the point of making all of this? And look at this area here. This is just for turning leaves and wood into solid biofuel. And all this area over here. Ignore that. Don't know what that is. And that's just a sink. Damn. That's for the coal. And more resources. Oh my goodness. And again, problem number 12,429 of the grass fields. All of these nodes are crap. Look at them, they're just all crap. And the ones that aren't actually having massive gaps in the middle here, that's mostly, I think, because I've not underclocked, just built the smelters and the constructors wrong. Because you guys aren't pure, you're normal, I'm pretty sure. Oh, dearie me. So the sound of that. Ew. Can I delete this session? There we go. Dearie me. But yeah, my my archaeology is archaeology. My architecture's style has changed quite a bit in this game. Also, bear in mind you've added quite a bit in the last 4 years. Not all of that was because I am that bad at building, but most of it is. Wow. Okay. Well, that was fun to see. I'm never showing that on stream ever again. Warning. What a fantastic thing to see when you first load into a game. Any way to look at your save? And, like, how? I don't know how to. I don't know if we'll have time today because I'm desperately trying to finish this. When I get back from America, maybe. There we go. 1, 2. Beautiful. Fantastic. Amazing. Gorgeous. Wait, have I built all of this in the wrong place? I have. Oh, have I built all of it wrong? It's supposed to be out by 0.5 meter. This is going to be the bane of my existence. At least you managed to figure that out now and not after I've built most of this. There we go. Also, a continuation of this path would be most appreciated. So okay, wait, what's the point of that then? What's the point of your existence other than just to test my patience? That doesn't actually answer my question. Because here is the middle of that factory above, which I believe is almost, if not exactly, lined up with this. Then now this isn't lined up with that, and that isn't lined up with this, and none of this is lined up. Why? Because it never was supposed to be lined up. That's the whole point of it. Oh well. But if I'm honest, I think what I'm going to do off camera is test out this cathedral-based city that I'm thinking of, and we'll see how it goes. Because I think it could end up being a really good-looking city. One that's both chaotic, but at the same time understandable. Because I feel like with this, it's chaotic, but it doesn't... I don't know, maybe I'm overhating this too much. Maybe I'm just overhating it. Just finish doing this now. One step at a time. Good. Well done, me. Give myself a virtual pat on the back. I could pat myself on the back in real life. I just can't be bothered. Oh, dear. Wait. Oh, I thought you overlapped. You don't overlap. Good. You shouldn't overlap. That's why I was a bit concerned. No, all good. Bring you down there by 1. Okay. Is that right? No, I know why you're wrong, because I didn't actually add in the wall here yet. That's fine. That's all good. There we go, lovely. Now if I was just to slot this into there, everything here should be grand. It absolutely is. Share your save file with you. Oh, okay. I can have a look. No reason why not. That could be quite a fun series, actually. Where I get sent save files and I can tour around people's worlds. I've got no power. Nice. Add you all the way down to there, grand. I really don't know why you're there. You must have a purpose. But it's one which I'm just severely unsure about. So for all I care, it's pointless. There's a point to everything. It's just trying to figure out what the point is. Before it's too late. Wahaha. There we go. Okay. Okay. And that and that's great. I mean, this is the boring part, I would say. Just adding in all these signs. I know you can zoop signs, yes, I know. But the problem is, if I was to zoop signs, it doesn't overlap them, so you'll see this line here, for example. Yeah. He does for nice world saves. Oh, okay. What about for just the average player, though? Who doesn't build extremely complex builds. Because that would be quite nice to do, just featuring just anyone. Giving tips and tricks, advice, and just a tour around the world. I don't want to do it so that I'm there for 15 minutes saying, oh, that's crap, change this, oh, that's terrible, don't do that. Oh, this isn't 100% efficient. How dare you? No, I don't want to do that. But it would be more like, okay, you see where you've got that one line of 7 limestone going into those 46 constructors. Well, maybe if you didn't do that, it would be a bit better. Or if you were to do this instead, or, well, that's a beautiful factory, that's a great bit of inspiration. Things like that. Inspiration series. That's what Corrales used to do. Oh, can I try and find this on the YouTubes? Probably somewhere. Corrales inspiration series. This was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Inspiration series. Yeah. Where he just tours other people's, mostly Minecraft houses and places. 10 years ago. Oh, okay, it's a bit longer than I thought. 10 years, 11 years, yeah. Okay, right. But yeah, the inspiration series is, I mean, well, a series to inspire people. Makes showcases for other people's worlds. Which, oh, okay. That sounds, I mean, yeah, it sounds interesting though. I might do something similar, but just for my community. That could be fun. I'll give it some thought. Yeah. Then do this. I wonder, on a serious note, how many of these signs have I placed down in my playthrough? I'm going to say over 1,000, because all of these conveyor belt highways, they've got at least 2 or 3 dozen signs on them. I've placed at least 100, maybe 200 of them down. So that's already a good couple thousand. few thousand, I would say, honestly. I'm out of crystal oscillators. What? That wasn't really part of the plan. If I'm honest with you, that wasn't gonna... That's not supposed to happen. Right, okay. That's not bad. What I'm going to do is a cheeky T-pose. No, a cheeky respawn. And then I'd like to double check. Have I got a crystal oscillator? Dimensional depot. I was trying to think of the word there for a minute. Dimensional depot. You guys are all concretes, but you've still got enough concrete there. There we go. His own world looks amazing. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it does, to be honest. Oh, you guys are still completely full. Oh. The thing is, I don't really watch Satisfactory content anymore. I used to watch tons of it, but the last, I'll say, year or so, I haven't really been watching much. It's not because I don't like it, but because I did so much Satisfactory off camera, or even on camera, I just stopped watching as much because I just didn't want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. Yeah, I might get back into it again someday. Let's go. Try and get a nice angle here. Oh, wrong button. Great. Am I going to survive this? Oh, perfect landing. I mean, it looks better than I... Oh, you know what? Screw it. It's going to look better than I thought it was going to look. I'll be completely honest. It does look better. The reason why I wasn't liking it too much originally was because there's just so much going on. And as I keep saying, I'm just cramming different bits and bobs together and praying that it works. Oh well. I think the slight orange tilt there of the conveyor belt highway mixed in with the other things as well just makes it look alright. Yeah, it's fine. You can show the names, that's fine, yeah. That's fine. Oh, there's so much shenanigans to do. Just even the conveyor belt highway and the rails. In case you guys are new to the channel, no, this isn't a plug to make you subscribe. My conveyor belt highways, which is these things here, which is highways with conveyor belt logistics underneath, they were originally designed with hypertubes on top until I realized I'm never going to need that and I am going to need rails. I've now gone ahead and I've ripped up just hundreds of blueprints of the hypertubes and I've been slowly starting to replace it with all of my rails. The problem is, it's miles and miles and miles of stuff. Yeah. Oh well. All good fun, as they say. All good fun. I think that's going to work. Lovely. It does. That's great. Okay. The next part now is going to be to try and make this area up here not look as completely dreadful. Also, regarding this wall, I think I was supposed to add a couple of features here, wasn't I? I don't know what, I don't know where, and I don't know how. But I think it most likely involved concrete. Oh wow, what a surprise. If only my webcam was on, you guys will see that I'm so surprised that it's involving concrete. My mouth is on the floor. In shock and horror. There we go. Are you facing the right way? You are not. The father. There we go. Factor builds. Oh, okay. Ow. Yeah, I like how Satisfactory has a decent community around it as well. That's handy. I don't really get involved with the Satisfactory community. I just can't be asked, really. I just do my own thing, and that's basically it. I say this quite a lot, and it's because it's true, but I'm essentially a gamer first, content creator second. So whatever I do, I don't do because I think it'll make a good video, or I don't think I don't do it because I have to almost force myself to do it because it might get a good amount of views. I literally only do what I feel like doing. Regarding YouTube, at least. In real life, that's not the best mental way to approach everything. Some things, yeah, I suppose, but not everything. But when it comes to YouTube, no, I literally just do the content that I'm personally happy with making. And that's the way it should be for a hobby. If it was my job, then don't get me wrong, I'll be releasing a video every day or every 2 days. Titled something like, how to use iron ore efficiently, or something. Which was actually a video I was planning on making where I go over how to fully utilize all the ores. But then I realized that there wasn't really much I could say, so I scrapped the video. It would have been decent because people are actually interested in efficiency videos on my channel. But I just don't care. It's not a video I thought I would want to make, so I didn't make it. And get rid of that. And that. And all of that. We'll do that side in just a minute, actually. You lot are fine. You're absolutely not fine. But yeah, World Cup should be interesting today. We've got the Netherlands versus Japan. Looking forward to that. I don't really have a dog in the race necessarily. But I know far more people from the Netherlands than I do Japan. So I suppose I would support the Netherlands if I had to choose one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, for every World Cup, we like supporting the Netherlands because they're chill. Outside of YouTube, just university stuff, really. Yeah, just work and university. That's about it at the minute. I can't wait to get a job. Well, I have a job, but I mean an actual job in what I'm studying, which is archaeology and ancient history. I want to be an archaeologist. And travel the world. 1, 2, 3, 4. We all good? Nothing's overlapping the roads. Good, because that wouldn't be great. Well, I'm 23 because I had a job before I went into university. I was never going to go into university, but the problem was when I left my job, everywhere I looked that I wanted to apply to basically said, no, you have to have a degree in order to try and get this job. What? Everywhere. Even some reception roles, to be a receptionist, you still had to have a degree in hospitality. To be a receptionist. Mental. It's a scam. University is a scam. I hate having to be there. I like being there because I do a lot of sports. But I do think university is an absolute scam that needs completely reworking. Not just in the UK, but in most countries in the world. Especially the UK, though. Because the way that we do our universities makes no sense. Firstly, the cost is stupid amounts. And also, it's different rules depending on who you are and where you come from. It should just be equal. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter where you come from, just equal. It's a bit of a shame. For example, for international students, for a lot of universities, the grade to get in is a lot lower in comparison to British students. So, for example, for my course, I think it was a BBA to get in, I think. But for international students, it was 3 Cs. A lot lower. But then, for example, I know some people, like one of my housemates, for example, he's an international student, barely speaks a word of English. Barely, he can't hold a sentence because the only English he knows is what he's learnt from like music videos, like London music videos. So he doesn't actually understand and speak proper English. He got almost straight Fs. I think he got a D, and he still managed to get into law. Yes, you heard me right, law. That's crap. So that's concerning. I can't wait to have a lawyer when I'm older and have to go through all that. In fact, speaking about lawyers, did you guys hear the case? I think it was somewhere in the US where there was 4 lawyers who are either under arrest or under investigation for all using ChatGPT in one of their cases. Essentially, they were given it was either a mock case or a made-up case, and they somehow managed to all come back with fake evidence because the evidence that they used was from ChatGPT. So now some of them have been fined and are under investigation for essentially just using fake evidence in court because ChatGPT told them it was real. That's really fun. We've got a lot to look forward to, everyone. That has to go. I do honestly think university is just a massive scam. And the worst part is the families that can afford to send their students to university without taking out a loan will end up being far better off than the families who actually have to take out a loan to send their students to uni. Because student loans are ridiculous. Like you'll see some people in their 50s and 60s who are still paying off their student debt, and now it's only getting worse, bear in mind. Because of how bad it is, because not everyone can cough up £100,000 for a 5-year course, because I mean that's ridiculous. So what often ends up happening is you've got people that are going into roles which don't pay a lot. For example, I don't know, archaeology, which is quite a low-paying job, but I am going to do it because I love it. It's what you should do. Do what you're passionate about, not what pays the most. And they go into their roles, and let's say again they're £80,000 in debt, minimum, because that's accommodation and that's the actual course itself. Some even do a foundation year for some of their courses. So again, 80 grand in debt, and you're only earning about 26,000, maybe if you're lucky, £28,000 a year for some of these roles. Well, by the time that you pay off rent for your home, because you can't actually afford a house, obviously, and then you start to pay back your student debt, then the other debts on top of that, then your monthly subscriptions, your Netflix, your Sky TV, whatever it is, you're left with such a little amount. And then again, the student loan just takes the piss. It really does. I don't like it. The entire university system has to be completely reworked from top to bottom. But until then, all I have to do is just survive it. Yeah. Younger than you? I don't feel young. I really don't. I'm one of the oldest people there. I'm only first year, bear in mind, so I'm one of the older ones in my class. Although there are some people that are first year in my class who are, again, in their 50s. Which I can admire, I suppose. I wish I was smart. I wish. I know the information I know and hope that it works out in the long run. I don't know everything about everything, but I know some things about a lot. No, wait. Yes, that makes sense. Got there in the end. Right, so I think this area is done. Again, a bunch of yapping there, but we managed to get it finished. I haven't yet done the... You know what? Yeah, I can probably try and do these paths underneath here. If I remember what I've done, it's actually quite a simple design. Get you two out there. Change the material. I mean, yeah, 30s is still young, though. I saw a picture the other day of when I first got my dog. This was 2017, maybe? Sometime around then. And I looked so young. Well, I was, obviously, but... yeah, my little pup. And then he started to get grey hair on his chin. Then his whole face was grey. Oh. My little grey pug. He was the best dog. Corner stairs I can use. Oh yeah, there is, isn't there? Well, what I can also do is this, which isn't going to work, typical. That. If I really wanted to. The problem is I've already done this design over on the other side, and because of the amount of things I've ripped up and started over, I'm trying to not do it. I'm trying to just commit with one idea now and just roll with it and hope that it works. There we go. And this looks fine. Again, it's not going to win any medals, but it's decent. Considering how large this space actually is. Oh, hello. Why are you like that? This is a big wall. So that's why I'm trying to cut it up into smaller chunks, just to make it look a bit more approachable from my side, I suppose. Yeah. Just an idea. That's fine, yeah. If I didn't want to hear people's ideas, I don't think streaming would be the best idea for me. No, other people's ideas are always welcome. There we go. In fact, what I could even try and do is add the rail here as well. Yes, look at that. That's not bad. I think I went with white for the first one, didn't I? We'll go with white again. Or not. That's... yeah. Thank you. Oh, okay. No? Sure. Yeah, the white just sticks out a bit more there. If everything's grey, it's going to look a bit too much, but the white from the lights reflecting on the rails too, yeah, it's not bad. I've built worse. A lot worse, actually. So when it comes to finishing the coal power plants, of course we didn't get it all done today. I was never going to. That was never the plan. But I do at least want to try and get this part around here done today. Because what I don't understand is I've been live now for 2 hours, right? 2 hours. And I've done 4 of these? How is it taking me so long? I know we had a 5 or 6 minutes break checking out one of our previous saves, but still, that was nothing. And we're over 2 hours in. What have I done in 2 hours? I don't know where the time goes when I play this game. I really don't. It's 5:30 in the evening. Well, afternoon/evening. I have to report this game for time traveling tomfoolery. I blink and it's 2 hours later. I yap about, I don't know, Scotland playing football, and then suddenly, oh no, it's 5:30 in the afternoon. How have I done that? Who else is playing football today? Oh, see, no, stop. This is how I waste 2 hours. I talk about random subjects. This is a live stream. I'm not supposed to be having fun. I'm supposed to be extremely serious playing Satisfactory. We're not here to have fun. Ew. What is... No. Ew. Having fun? What? Stop it. Tut, tut, tut. No, this is extremely serious. A ballistic warp drive factory that makes 20 per minute. Ooh. So my idea was to make a small city, like, to feed the... Yeah, no reason why not. Yeah. Is that what Kibitz did for one of his previous saves? Again, I have watched Kibitz, of course, recently, but I think the last time I fully watched a Kibitz playthrough, he was building something out in the Dune Desert. He flattened the Dune Desert with concrete foundations, and then he built something out there, like a factory. I think it might have been for the ballistic warp drive, or maybe that was pre 1.0. Was that nuclear pasta? I don't know. Either way, it was a fantastic looking factory. Kibitz always does really good looking factories. Always. Welcome, Vinod. Hope that you're doing good today. Welcome. We've made progress. I know. I'm as surprised as you are, but we've actually made okay progress today. This is the design that I'm going with. As you can see here, we've changed a bit from the top. So rather than having the random gaps here and the circular pillars and everything and all of the beams, I've just cleaned it up a little bit. And I've made it look a little bit simplistic, but I'm liking it so far. And I think this idea is definitely a concept I'm wanting to continue in other factories. But this conveyor belt highway is pissing me off. I don't like it. No, I really don't like the positioning of it. But there's no point in me trying to move it now because I've got all of the logistics here. If I mess with the logistics and the sulfur and the crude oil, it then means I can't produce enough fuel, which then means that my entire rocket fuel facility is no longer efficient and all that. When I finish this, I'll actually go back and see my rocket fuel factory just so I can remember what I've done. Did we do the interior as well? I'll double check. You're a bit late? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so... I don't mind this, you know. I really do not mind this. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. You'll then just go back, essentially. Yeah, it's quite pleasing, isn't it? I'll say the aesthetics are decent. Just this week, my last stream's tomorrow. Unfortunately. I'm concerned about this train, though. I think I'm going to do a slightly different design for the train. Because again, it's not going straight down the middle. It's slightly too far to the left. Which is really, really fun to deal with. And that's all done, though. Great. Okay, so let's respawn and check out the rocket fuel factory. And the most important thing that I'm going to try and show you guys, and also show myself, is to see how much power I'm producing from this thing. The sweet spot, if I remember correctly, is 72,000 megawatts per power pole. Because I've divided all 4 quarters, just so I can easily see where the problems are and what's causing them. So, for example, we've got the upper floor, lower floor, upper floor, lower floor. I've done a little bit of work around it. I won't say I've done nothing. I have done some things. Like, we've now completed that. And we've started this and started that. So we have made some progress. Welcome, Eztiuz. My pronunciation of names is very good. I've been told it's fantastic. Okay. So, B4 is the bottom quarter. T4 is the top quarter for that. B3 is the bottom quarter for this side. Then T3 is the top quarter for this side. Starting with one thing. And I don't know why. Doesn't even matter how hard I try. You're roughly 68. That's okay. I'll very quickly reconnect you because you would run out of power. Yeah. Okay. Not great. Not awful. You're 70. Okay, so you're very... Wait, what? How are you consuming power? 100 megawatts. What? How are you... Don't question things. Don't question things. Okay. Not great. It should be exactly 72k. Disgusting. That's actually terrible. Okay, so you're peaking at 72. You're really bad, though. Like, you're awful. Top of the fourth quarter. Top of the fourth quarter. Sorry, I had to. What's going on over here, then? Why are you consistently pissing me off? Okay, you're all... Like, everything's just red. Oh my goodness gracious me. Like I always say, it's like walking down the high street in Amsterdam. Just red lights everywhere. This is not great. So why are you all lacking fuel, then? Because you're all connected to the grids. So you're lacking rocket fuel. Right, let's go. Let's trace it back. Literally 0. A flow rate of 0. I would give you a round of applause, but... I'm ashamed. I'm disappointed. Quite frankly, I'm angry. At what we've just seen here. Where are you even coming from? Here. What's the flow rate saying? Only 331. Okay. 335. Yeah, you're 420, which is still actually lower than what it should be. It should be 480, I believe. Honestly, the fluid mechanics in this game might be my 13th reason why. I mean, I don't know what it is. Just every single time I try and do fluids in this game, I lose a bit of my own sanity. But the thing is, and I might be a psychopath, but I love it. I don't know what it is. I love doing logistics in this game. If anything, I wish I spent more time doing logistics. It's my favorite thing to do. But now I can't really move on until I get this building finished. I like numbers. I like... Well, yeah, numbers. That's pretty much it. And the whole logistics side of things. Okay, you, come here. Come here. So you go up into there. Use this! Look at the amount of shenanigans I've got here. That's 1,308 rocket fuel. Use this. Why are you doing that? Oh, yeah. Screw me. Why aren't you using that, you bugger? I don't understand. I'm really angry right now. I can't control my emotions because I don't understand how fluids and gas work in this game. Gosh darn it. Right. So you are the last 1, 2, 3, 4, hopefully. 1, 2, 3. Fuel. Fuel is the problem. Even though you're, like, exceptionally fine. In fact, you're borderline overflowing constantly. But then when it comes to you two, suddenly you've just shat the bed because apparently we haven't got enough fuel. Because you're coming in from over here. Okay. That's why you're better then, because it's a different fuel line. Right, what I'm going to try and do here then, chat, is firstly have a mental breakdown, and then secondly, see, look at that flow rate. That was near 600 there for a second. So how can I get all the fuel just to go to the very end? The obvious answer... okay, I know what that is. That's fine. The obvious answer is going to be to do this. Boom. Logistics. And a nice Mark II pipeline pump. Chuck that in right there. Hook it up. And Bob's your uncle. Isn't that handy? Unless you don't like Bob, then that's not very handy. I don't mind Bob, so we'll take it. Now, how are we looking? How are we looking? Green lights? Nope. It's actually made it worse. You're 18.5. Okay, yeah, keep going up. 21. No, go up. Go up. Go up. Why have you stopped? Why have you stopped? Really? That's it. Okay, right. Right. So, that's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So we've got 600 fuel traveling here. Why are you all yellow? Too much crew. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You've got a 600 fuel pipe coming through here. I love designing factories without simple ways to go from point A to point B. Flow rate's not bad at all though, which is the parts I don't understand. Everything looks fine. Right here. Everything along this row, it appears, yes. Any yellow lights? Because there should be no yellow lights here. Green. 100. 200. 300. And 400. Okie dokie, I've figured out the problem. We need 600 fuel, and I'm making 400. 400 is less than 600. Meaning that because I'm not making enough fuel, which has nothing to do with the pipeline pump that I just placed down, it now means that I can't get enough fuel into the blenders. And because it's not going into the blenders, it's then not going into the fuel generators. Okay. I love having to work with 600 fuel. I really do. Let's try and figure out the problem then. So, firstly, have we got enough water and heavy oil residue to just add in a bunch of power shards here? Because that would be the simplistic thing to do, right? Just add in some power shards, overclock some things, and there you go. Starting with heavy oil residue, we need 50, 100, 200 as a minimum. I would say quite a lot more than that, obviously. Let's get some power shards. That's 200. Sorry, 300. And 600. There we go. So I am needing 150, 300 heavy oil residue and 600 water. Right, let's double check that then. Starting with the 300 heavy oil residue, which is being used from here. In fact, you've all got different points of entrance for the heavy oil residue. Oh dear. I suppose you lot are going to be the same, although apparently you've got too much fuel. Now why are you yellow? Too much crude oil, too much crude oil. Too much, okay, right. Let's just focus on this for now, and I'm very quickly going to paint all of this green, just so I know what I'm dealing with. Hence why they're all painted differently. Not because I want them to remain like that, but because I can match it with the refineries, and it's a bit easier to understand what's going where. Let's start with these three, I suppose, because I think you've got the same pipe, don't you? Coming from here. Although it seems like you're being used here, though, are you not? Nice. Okay, it's this one here. 1, 2, 3, and not the fourth one, just these three. Okay. That's 225 heavy oil residue that I'm needing from... Oh, from this. It actually continues. 225 plus everything along here. Yes. Okay, right. Seems like a lot. $75, $50. $250. Just so I remember what it is. Nope. That's 475 heavy oil residue that I'm needing just for this area over here. Now, where does that pipe actually come from? Not from there. Okay, it does come from here. Right. I was a bit lost there. We've only got 300 here. So the problem is now going to be I haven't got enough heavy oil residue for this. Why does it do that? Doesn't matter. The one that I need is on this side, isn't it? Yes. Am I sure that this is definitely 300? Because if it is, that's a bit concerning. That's 150, 300, 450. Oh, I need 475. Ugh. Right. That's... Okay. Okay. So, wait, if there's 450 here then, why did I say 300? And that's clearly not 300. Because that's 150. That's 150, that's 100. And then why are you only 100 if everything else is... It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I know the reason why, it's fine. 450. So, that's actually not a bad thing. It's just a bit annoying. It then means that if you're the 450, what are you? Are you actually 400? $150. You're 300. Right. Okay. Next question. How are you surviving with only 300 heavy oil residue? Because you only go up to around about there. Right. You need 75, 150, 200, 250, 325. So again, you're over by 25. I mean, we don't seem to be having any actual issues with heavy oil residue though. How's that? If I'm needing more heavy oil residue than what I'm producing, how come everything has still got enough? Even you're completely fine. That makes no sense. Unless you actually have got more than what I thought. Because you consist of everything from these two rows, don't you? 50? 100. 175. 250. 300. Okay, so it's more than that then. 350. 425. That's 500. You have 500 heavy oil residue? Right. Well, in that case then, that's definitely right, isn't it? That's 500. Where have I pulled 300 from? It's definitely 500. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Oh. Wait, oh, right, no, stop, sorry. You're needing heavy oil residue. You're not producing heavy oil residue. Okay. Right. That's my bad. That makes a bit more sense then. So you didn't produce 500, you're actually consuming 500. But then if you're consuming 500 and I've only got one... Wait. Right. I'm guessing all of you are producing the same amount. Crude oil. Heavy oil residue. 60, 100, 60, 100, that's 200, that's 400 each. 400 per row. $400 minus 75 is 325. Minus 75 again is 300. No, I've messed up into it. 250. 200. 150. That's correct. 150. Yep. Yeah, that's 150 there. Let's see. So no matter what, the heavy oil residue just goes in a straight line. It's the fuel that I've had to paint them all different colours for. Okay, that's fine. 50. 100. 175. 250. 400 minus 250, that's 150. So again, yeah, you guys have got 300 there. That's correct. Damn. Okay. 50. 75. 75. 50. 250, that's 150 on that row. 50, 100. 150. 250. So again, that's 150 in that row as well. Then lastly, 50, 100. You're both overclocked. 250, that's 150 again. Wait. That's 450. And what did I need before? 475. Yeah. Well, that's going to be a bit of a logistical pain, because where else am I getting the heavy oil residue from? Wait, you guys are all green? Not for long though, right? Yeah, not for long, because you just... Well, you've got too much fuel. That makes no sense. I'm really confused. How have you now got too much? I'm not making enough heavy oil residue. I want to see what's happening here. Maybe if I give it an hour and then I come back and then suddenly things are going to start breaking. Because they should be breaking now, but they're not. If I'll take, honestly. Now, some of you guys are still yellow. So what's the cause behind your problems? Too much rocket fuel. That's not a bad problem to have. And again, that's because I'm not using all of this just yet for our items. So then, the problem that we initially had was regarding the top half of that quarter. Let's see if that's worked now, because we were sitting on about 60, maybe 61,000 megawatts. The T4. Let's check T4 now, see if it's slightly improved. In theory, I mean, that all looked green. I don't understand it though, it doesn't make any logical sense. That's already shot up by about 5,000 megawatts. And you're basically flatlining. That's, well, in a good way. I know it's not often a good thing to be flatlining, but no, you actually are in a good way. 72,000 is exactly what we need. It's dipping a little bit occasionally, but for the most part, that is brilliant. That's all good for Nod. These are the closing moments anyway. Don't worry. Yeah, that's just, that is what it is. Right, stream, we managed to make some good progress today. Tomorrow, what I want to do is either finish off our coal power plants or make a bit of a dig at this. I'm not quite sure just yet, but we'll see how things go. Maybe I might do a couple of things off camera. If I'm honest with you, I'm really trying to find some motivation right now to keep going with this series, because I've reached a point, right, where I don't hate what I've built, but the way that I want to plan all my factories has changed. Evolved, I would actually say. Evolved into a better, more consistent and fluid way of doing things. The problem is, though, if I was to start over again, I'd have to repeat exactly what I've already done here again. But I would do it slightly differently. And I know what I want to try and do. Essentially, imagine this, right? All of this right here is one big factory. In total, about 1,200 fuel generators when it's done. I'm not sure how many refineries, plus everything over there as well. All the blenders and everything, right? There's a lot going on. What I want to try and do is break it down into smaller factories, into smaller grids. So you see what I've done over here with these grids? What's that sound? Oh, it's the game. With these grids over here, I essentially want to try and do this, but going from crude oil to rocket fuel in one small grid in smaller areas. Then what I can try and do is then place our fuel generators right next to it. So for example, if I see that this refinery here is yellow, that is only going to impact what I see on this tiny grid with these few machines, rather than this refinery potentially impacting a fuel generator over there or over there or over there. I know that it's going to be here. This way, again, these small grids with a little bit of, as you can see, architecture just added in there and some paths and whatnot. Visually, I think it's going to look quite good. It might occupy a bit more space, but I'm not concerned about space, if I'm honest. So that's most likely the way I'm going to do things, especially regarding fluids. Solids, I don't care about. I can work with solids quite easily. I don't trust fluids because I don't know what's happening. When it comes to iron, I can see the iron ore moving. I can see the iron ingots. I can see the iron plate, the reinforced iron plate, the modular frame, the heavy modular frame. It's actually everything. Everything that's happening, I can see it in front of me. With the liquid, it goes into a pipe. I don't know what happens, and then it doesn't come out the pipe the way it should do. And I know that's probably my fault. In fact, I can almost bet money it's my fault. I want to know, what can I do differently? And I think breaking it down into a much smaller factory within a factory is a good idea. So rather than have this huge open area like this, have 50 smaller areas like this. So I'll have my refineries converting my crude oil into heavy oil residue. There we go. And polymer resin. I was trying to think of what polymer resin, the name of polymer resin was, but there you go. Got it. So heavy oil residue and polymer resin. And then we can have the heavy oil residue come over here to make our fuel. Then our fuel to make our rocket fuel. Then our rocket, which is also made in blenders. I don't know why I pointed over there. Then our rocket fuel to then go into our generators. And again, that will all be in the same area, which will most likely occupy an area like this. I don't know how much rocket fuel it's going to be. But you see here, for example, this, I think, is about 600 rocket fuel, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, see, now we've got the yellow lights again. Not enough fuel. Kill me. At this point, honestly. That's 150, 300, 450, so that's 900 rocket fuel. Don't worry, that's going on 2 different pipes. That's not just one pipe of 900 rocket fuel, obviously. But, yeah. And at least then with Myro, the good thing is the application that I use to do all my maths, I could very easily just zone out this on Myro. So, for example, rather than a refinery, I could have a pattern, like a shape, like a square, for example, and then every square represents one refinery. Every circle is a blender, every triangle is a constructor, things like that, and every hexagon, octagon represents a certain type of machine. This way I can see, okay, well, that square goes into 2 triangles, which means that one, say, constructor goes into 2 assemblers. I don't know what would be required for that, but anyway, you guys get the gist. So, yeah, all that to say, I don't mind this, because I've learned a lot from this, and essentially the way that I want to try and do it is rather than having a mega factory, I don't want to have a mega factory, and I don't want to have a modular factory. I want to start my own type of factory, which incorporates both of them together. It's going to be a large factory, which at first glance will appear as a mega factory, but in reality, the mega factory is consisting of tons of much smaller modular factories. That way, everything's going to have its own little system. Just imagine everything here just operated within this little bubble. Crude oil comes in, rocket fuel goes out, that is it. But here we see plastic, we see rubber, we see just random stuff. So we've learned a lot, is what I'm trying to say. I like what I've built, but there's just too much going on. It's too much. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Hope that you guys enjoyed. I'm live again tomorrow. Don't know what I'm doing. We'll do something. It's my last stream of the, well, until the end of summer. So we'll see what we do. Either way, thank you for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.